You have very limited budget for your business and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to be spending my money on? In episode 13, I'm going to tell you everything that you need for your business and how much you should budget for. Listen in on YouTube or Apple Podcasts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Work Hard, Live Soft, where I show you how to build a business that gives you the freedom to live a life that you love. This episode is going to be really good because I'm going to share all the software that we use in my company, Built to Impact. And let me tell you something, I don't ever recommend specific software to my clients. Anytime they say, which one should I use? I say, it literally doesn't matter. Just choose one. Stop overthinking it. So this will be the only time that you hear me specifically recommend one platform based on what I use. Now, this does not mean that you have to use every single thing that I mentioned on here, but if you have been confused on what to use or you've been curious about what we use at Built to Impact, I'm going to break down all of the software, tools, and resources that we use based on category or based on usage, so that way you can have a starting point on what you should be investing in expenses-wise and resources-wise for your own business. Now, before you invest in any software, it is important for you to understand what you want the software to do for you. And I think we talked about this in episode 1, where I mentioned whenever you are creating a system is a step-by-step process that you want to run smoothly. And a lot of times people associate a software with a system. And when it comes to choosing software, you need to make sure that you find software that will run the system that you specifically want. So you first need to think about, what are the systems that I want to have in my business? So the systems that we're going to talk about are marketing, sales, and fulfillment. We're also going to talk about your content systems and your communication systems with your team. Now, when you're starting from scratch, typically you're thinking about your overall branding. You're thinking about, do I have my website, or what social media platforms should I be on? So the very first system or the very first software is Canva. Now, many of you are already familiar with Canva, but in case that you are not and you are starting from scratch, for real, Canva is a software online that you can use to create your own graphics, create your own flyers, create your own logo. Now, as a former graphic designer, I used to be a hater when it came to Canva because I'm an Adobe girl. I designed in Illustrator. I designed in Photoshop. I designed in InDesign. Like, I'm a designer for real, okay? And I'm sure that if you are a designer who's been in the game for at least 5, maybe even 10 years, you were probably a hater like me too. But I must say that Canva has evolved so much and has given Adobe a run for their money. Not only are they more affordable, but the ease of use is just chef kiss. It's so user friendly. So if you're ever figuring out, or if you're ever trying to figure out, like, okay, I need to create a carousel for Instagram, or I need to create a Reels cover, or I need to create graphics for my stories, Canva has templates that will give you the exact dimensions that you need. In the past, when I needed to create graphics for myself, whether it was my website or a flyer or for social media, I would have to Google, what is the standard size of a flyer, or what is the standard size of an Instagram post? And I would have to then create a new document and type in my own pixels or type in my own inches, and then fix the resolution to go from 72 DPI to 300 DPI. All of the terminology that you shouldn't have to worry about if you are not a designer. So if you are not a designer and you don't quite yet have the budget to hire your own designer, Canva is a great resource for you to go in and leverage their templates where they already know the size that you need. It can be ready for digital or it could be ready for print. So Canva is the very first thing that I would recommend for all of your visuals and all of your graphics. Now, another thing that you need to think about is how you want to service your clients. So whether you are a course creator, or you are doing one-on-one services, or you are a designer, or you are a copywriter, you have to first determine how is this product or service going to be packaged so I know what software I need to deliver it? So the software I might recommend for a coach is going to be different than the software that I recommend for a course creator, is different than the software I would recommend for somebody selling physical products. So I can give a couple of examples of what we're using at Built to Impact or what I use at Rebellious, but please keep in mind that the software or the resources that you're using is going to be determined by your product or service and how you want it packaged and delivered for your clients and your customers. So if you are somebody who is offering one-on-one coaching, what I used when I first started was Acuity, which is spelled Acuity. This is also very similar to Calendly. What this is a platform where people can schedule to get on the phone with you. So again, I'm not married to Acuity. I am not affiliated directly with Acuity. If you are looking for a platform where somebody can schedule a call with you, you can simply go into Google and search for call scheduler. So I am also going to describe what the exact software does, so you can also make a comparison of, is what Maya uses the best option for me, or should I compare it to other options out there? So when people are booking calls with me, I use Acuity. You can also accept payments through there as well. And so I would accept calls through there, and then I would host my calls on Zoom. Now, many of you are already familiar with Zoom. If you lived through the pandemic, congratulations. Through the pandemic, we were all stuck on Zoom and just staring at each other. Remember Skype? I can't even believe that Skype used to be a thing. Poor Skype. Long gone. But shout out to Zoom, because it replaced all of the in-person meetings, all of the in-person conferences. But Zoom is where I would host the calls. I personally like to do my calls face-to-face virtually instead of just being on the phone. I know that my attention span is not set up to hold my phone or talk on speakerphone. I'm going to start doing other things, and I really do like to give my full attention to my clients. And I also like that with Zoom, I'm able to easily record the conversation and record the chat information, and it can also be easily subscribed. Quick note, this wasn't a software I was going to recommend, but Rev, R-E-V, as in Valerie.com, is a great software for you to transcribe any videos and any audio. I know a lot of software these days auto transcribe a lot of the things that you might already have recorded, but in case you were specifically looking for a unique software, Rev.com, R-E-V.com is really helpful. So anyhow, Acuity for people to schedule their calls, and then I actually host the calls on Zoom. And then I would use Google Drive, where I would put the recordings, and I would create special folders for my clients. And so I would use Google Drive, Google Docs, to house my client information. Now there's different software that you can use for like project management and client management. I would simply use Acuity, Zoom, and Google Drive. That is what I did when I started doing one-on-one. I used it for years, and I really just kept things really simple and low cost. Acuity is probably $20 to $30 a month. Your Google Drive is free unless you need more space, which it can go up to about $10 a month. And Zoom is free unless you are leveraging their storage, which I think is about $40 a month. So for less than $100 a month, you can run your one-on-one coaching business in terms of just the fulfillment. Now, that doesn't include any of the marketing, but if you're able to get all of your clients word of mouth, you can serve your clients for less than $100 a month simply using a scheduler, using Google Drive and all of Google's resources, and your Zoom account. So that is what I use for that. Now, if you are somebody that wants to sell digital products, or you want to sell online courses, online masterclasses, I would recommend housing it inside of Thinkific. That's what we use. We've been using it for years. And you can actually get a 30-day free trial at mayaelious.com/Thinkific. That is Thinkific. And we house all of our masterclasses, all of our courses, and our program content inside of Thinkific. Now, again, you can simply Google course creation platform or pre-recorded training platform and just see what is the best for you. But we've had a really great experience with Thinkific, working with them, housing all of our content on there, all of our paid content, and it's really user-friendly for our clients. And so we don't also just choose software based on like what's the most affordable or what's easy for the team. We also like to leverage software that's going to make it really easy for our clients to navigate where they should go. So if you are selling any type of course, Thinkific is a great option. And then if you are somebody who sells physical products, Shopify is absolutely the go-to. I don't really prioritize selling physical products at Build to Impact, but I leverage Shopify to house all of my inventory on the back end for Rebellious Fit, which is my activewear brand. So Shopify is a really great software. Almost all major product-based companies use Shopify, really user-friendly. So I definitely recommend that you check it out if you are going to sell products. Now, you guys know that I like my clients to sell services. I think it's just more profitable. And I think that it's easier when you are starting out and building your brand. But again, if you want to sell your physical products, go ahead and test out Shopify. So we've gone through branding and we've gone through any client fulfillment. So again, you need to just think about what do you need for your visual brand, and then how do you want to deliver your product or service to your clients and your customers. Now let's talk about your marketing. And so that's going to be a little bit of your branding as well. I didn't give any specific platforms for your web design because I actually feel like if you have a solid landing page or a solid software where you can create a landing page and add extra pages to create your website, you don't need to have one platform for a web page and then another platform for your landing pages. I specifically have two different ones because I started so long ago and I didn't feel the need to completely switch over. So if you are wondering, my website is built through WordPress, and keep in mind that I also used to be a web designer. So it was easy for me to navigate complex platforms because I knew how to code. It wasn't difficult for me to build my own website. It's still not difficult for me to make tweaks to my website today. But if you're looking for a way to build out your landing pages, we use a software called Ontraport. Now, I like Ontraport because this is where we build our email list. This is where we build our sales pages, our landing pages, and our checkout pages, and all of our automations. This really is like a one and all platform for everything that you need as a business owner. But I will say that there is a learning curve. And so if you're not going to be patient with the learning curve, this might be something you might want to hold off on. But when you think about all of the different platforms or softwares that you might be investing into, Ontraport is a good way to actually save on your expenses and just put your money on that platform and leverage it for all of the things that it is able to do. Now, a great alternative to Ontraport that I used to use a long time ago, and I really honestly do still like this company, but I've just outgrown them, is a company called LeadPages. LeadPages is where I built my very first landing pages when I was growing my email list. And so your landing page is going to be a page where you capture people's information. You're going to capture their name, you're going to capture their email, maybe even their phone number if you decide to do any type of text message marketing. And so you want to build out landing pages where you are giving away a free resource in exchange for somebody's email. The goal with your online business is to generate leads, to build your email list so you are able to sell to that list. And LeadPages is a really great resource. They have amazing templates. They've tested their templates. They let you know the type of templates you should use based on your industry. They let you know the templates that are most high converting versus low converting. So I definitely recommend LeadPages for that. But if you do get LeadPages, then you also need a software that's going to house those emails. So just because you can create your landing page on one software doesn't mean that you're going to be able to send out emails from that software. So we send out emails from Ontraport, but when I was using LeadPages, I was sending out emails from either MailChimp or when I had switched over to ConvertKit. So you need one software to generate leads or to collect your leads, get people's emails through a form or a landing page, and then you need a email software where you are sending out emails. So in the past, we use MailChimp. I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think that it's advanced for where I want you guys to go with your business. I think ConvertKit is a great tool, a great platform. I've used them in the past. I'm really fond of the CEO, Nathan, the founder, Nathan. So they are a great platform as well. And it's really affordable, user-friendly, and you can set up your automations. So for those of you who feel like Ontraport may be too advanced for you, then an option is combining LeadPages plus ConvertKit. So LeadPages, ConvertKit, and then Ontraport if you want something a little bit more advanced where you want to be able to collect money. Ontraport is spelled Ontraport. So now that we've talked about landing pages, checkout pages, being able to send out emails, let's talk about how you can actually collect your money. How does the money actually go to your bank account? So when I first started, PayPal was the main payment processor that people would use. I was so confused when I started. I went to Wachovia at the time. That's how long I've been running my business. And I'm like, how do I get people to pay me? And they were trying to set up their system so I could get a special link. And I'm like, this is too confusing. So I ended up stumbling across PayPal, and I used that to connect it to my products and my services, and people paid me through there. I could manually send out invoices, or I could create special links. A lot of the platforms that you use now will have a direct integration where you can add your PayPal. And then the other popular payment processor that you may be familiar with is Stripe. So I've been on Stripe since 2016, and I'm really fond of Stripe. I think it's a little bit more friendly for business owners. I mean, there's been some controversy with Stripe recently shutting down accounts because they're trying to protect users and protect scammers and people who have fraudulent businesses. But I would recommend setting up your Stripe account and just making sure that you have your terms and conditions and your return policies and all your legalities taken care of so you can protect your payment processing account. But Stripe and PayPal have both been really good to me, and it's just such a simple way to be able to collect money and then transfer it to my bank account whenever I am looking to get paid. So now that you know how to actually get payments to your payment processor, you want to also make sure that you are keeping track of your finances. And so the accounting software that we use is Xero, which is spelled Xero. And this allows us to put all of our bank accounts and all of our payment processors in one place so we can track all of the money that is coming in and all of the money that is coming out. This is going to be very helpful for you during tax time, so you're not scrambling on all of your different accounts, trying to figure out how much you made, trying to figure out what your expenses are. Another alternative to Xero is going to be QuickBooks. We just happen to use Xero with our team and with our finance manager, and we've had a really great experience with it so far. Last but not least, I want you to think about how you are communicating with your team and how you are documenting a lot of your processes and all of your ideas. So when I first started, I did everything inside of Google Drive, and I still have a lot of my organization inside of Google Drive. I'm so anal about things being well documented and organized. You guys should see how organized my Google Drive is, separated by department, separated by our programs. Like anything that you need to find, if you are on my team and you ask me where something is, then we just have to fight, because I have made things so easy to find that there should be no question at all. So I really do love Google Drive. And recently, we've also been using Notion to document our tasks and document a lot of just overall documentation. It's been really simple to use, really user-friendly for our team once we got on there and decided how we wanted to use it as a company. So that has been really helpful. And then in terms of communicating, once you start building a team, email is just... it's just not going to cut it anymore. Email, like my inbox is where things go to die. And so we best communicate as a team through a software called Slack. And I really like Slack because it's just a software where you can chat back and forth, But I also really like how your chat conversations can be broken up into different categories, which they call channels. So anytime that we are doing a webinar or a challenge, we have a channel called Live Virtual Events, and that's where all of the information for that goes. Anytime that we're doing something related to content and social media marketing, we have a channel called Marketing, where all of our ideas and our conversation goes. So having these different categories or channels inside of Slack allows us to make sure that nothing gets lost in the sauce. The more people you have on your team, the more susceptible you are to information getting lost in between people through communication. So you want to make sure you just have a very clear way to document ideas and document conversations so nothing is slipping through the cracks. And then the last software that I'll mention is Loom, which has really come in handy. Loom is Loom, and this is a software where you can quickly and easily screen record, send a link of the recording to your team. This is free or really affordable, just depending on what tier that you need to have access to. But this is a really quick way for me to record an example of what I need from a team member and then just Slack them the link. So if you've ever needed to show a team member something and you didn't want to have to get on Zoom because it was just maybe a 2 to 3 minute instance, Loom is a great way to quickly screen record what you are doing and then send the link to your team. So those are the primary tools, resources, and software that we use. I would love to know, do you have any questions about the software that we use? Do you have any questions about the systems that you have in your business and I didn't mention a software for? I'm sure that I have a recommendation based on the amount of clients that I've worked with over the years. Feel free to ask inside of the comments, and I'm going to put a complete list of all of these tools in a PDF for you for free, so you don't have to write all of this down and memorize everything by yourself. So if you go to mayaelious.com/tools, I will make sure that this list is available for you. So let me know in the comments if this was helpful to you. Again, if you want to grab the free list of all of the tools and software that we use at Built to Impact, go to mayaelious.com. Until next time, keep working hard so you can live soft.